Let me tell you why trying to be too polished can make you insecure. Ideal self work is amazing, but you have to be very careful not to be looking at your idealized self, the version of you that is better than you believe yourself to be. You have to be, yes, ideal self work is great where you look at who you would be if you already had the thing, and, the fake it till you make it has a place, but it's nuanced. It's not like across the board. So I'm Kai Clifford, and I'm here to help you learn how to be confident, how to be spiritually mature, how to deepen your connection with the divine, and reprogram your subconscious so that rather than sabotaging, you succeed. Okay, so here is why I am trying to depolish my videos. Okay, so it's because the more I tried to make everything look polished and perfect, the more it got beyond me. Whereas I looked so much better on camera than I did in real person because I did the makeup right and I had the, lights. I just have a little ring light right here, but I had like the two LED lights all the time turned up and perfect camera angles. And so even though that has its place, and it's like, it's not like don't do it, but it's more for me, it was taking me too far past what I really looked like. You know what I mean? Like, I didn't want to be like a catfish or anything. But at the same time, we all know, movie stars, they look incredibly, good on movies and in pictures compared to what they look like in real life. So obviously, looking extra polished has its place as well. I'm not saying don't do it. It just has to come from a place where it doesn't make you insecure, because if you try to present yourself as way beyond what you believe you are inside, whether it's physical, anything at all, you will end up feeling insecure. That is what happens. This is like a big spiritual lesson in reality. So I'm trying to simple it down more, really just go online with like what I would naturally wear, like very light makeup. And yeah, just this is just me sitting on the floor in my office. My LED lights are over there because like my office is also where I hang out with my friends and stuff. So I haven't really put it back together, but yeah, it's lovely little room, but I'm not gonna set it up extra specifically. I mean, I will sometimes, but specifically because I am myself am trying to feel more within the level of who I really am. Does that make sense? So when it comes to your life, have a look at what airs you're presenting. Like, what are you doing to try to impress people? And you might not even be thinking of it like that. But when you try to do things to impress people, it's because you think that they'll like you more if you impress them. But it turns out that, funnily enough, they actually like you more when you show your vulnerability, which can be like, a few extra wrinkles, or it can be, less money than you think you should have, or a less nicer place than you think you should have, and, not quite up to these standards that you think you should be. And when you can just be more real about where you're actually at, then your soul tribe can see you. Yeah. So it's about taking ourselves down a peg or two and realizing that, we're not all ultra rich people with these mansions, sure, I have it in my mind that, one day I have this beautiful house in my mind. But I'm really at a stage now where I'm learning how to make the space I have a lot better, like as good as possible, like beautiful for me, instead of wanting to be like somewhere else and always needing to, oh, well, when I get there, then it'll be different. It's like, no, what if you brought there to here? And the exact room that you spend your most time in, rather than thinking you need to get to a different room, a different place, a different thing, you make the room that you actually spend the most time in as nice as possible, even if you're wanting to move out or move to another location. When you build the life you want around you now without waiting for other things, and it may feel like a compromise. You're like, well, I want it to be exactly like this with this perfect workspace and da da da. It's like, but you don't have that. But maybe you have a little corner somewhere, or a little office like I do that's not as big as you want it, that doesn't have the view. Although, to be fair, I actually do have a pretty good view behind that curtain. But it would come in and ruin the lighting. I have a beautiful park with trees and a beach out there, so I'm very fortunate for that. And that's one of the things that I've had to really humble myself and realize, wait there, I don't need to be in all these other places that I want to be. Where I am actually is good. It has beauty. It has great people. I can make a life here. And it took me a long time to really realize that. So, of course, I don't want you to take this to mean that you can't be polished at all. Absolutely can. But, really consider the place that it's coming from. Are you trying to impress thinking that you won't be accepted if they see, you without makeup, for instance? And, you don't also have to force yourself to make a point. If you also then go, oh, I'm so bad, I'm this and that, that's in the opposite extreme and it's not as good. You see what I'm saying? Where is it that you've been trying to impress people that you haven't even realized that now you're going to try to be more of your real at the moment self? Now, the more you let yourself be your real self at the moment, just who you actually are with what you do have available to you, and you trust that it's enough, then the more you feel confident, the more you feel you'll be accepted because you're not trying to put on these airs and you're not afraid of like being found out with imposter syndrome and things like that. So it's really important to look within at your motivations and to start trying to really accept where you are and trust that your people will accept you for you. And there will be other people, if you're doing it right, there will be people that straight up don't like you. There will be people that watch this video and straight up turn it off after 5 seconds. They think I'm speaking a whole heap of shit. They really can't stand me. Some people might even hate me watching me. But do you know what that means? When you allow for that, then you also allow for the people who have the opposite response. They're like, oh, wow, this is my person. Oh, she speaks just like I do. Oh, someone just like me. And oh, I totally understand what she's going through. Especially the weird and I don't know, for me, like the wilder aspects, like the like the partying that I wave in and out of as I'm like also spiritual and have healed myself from PTSD, trauma triggers, and attachment disorders and all these sorts of deep things I've healed myself from. But I'm still not this like perfect yogi person who never takes a drug or for instance. And at the same time, I'm also the type of person who can come and speak to you really like this because I used to have such a phobia of being on video. And even like the reason why I'm depolishing my videos is because of the still phobia of not being polished enough, of having to be thinner, of having to look better, of having to, be richer, even though I've been supporting myself and my husband and 2 guinea pigs, with my business. And it's like you think you're never good enough, and then you look back and you're like, even though maybe, it wasn't like this big 7-figure thing, I've still helped people change their lives, saved people from having operations. I've saved 2 clients from having to have hysterectomies. They were told, and through my work, we healed their womb. Sciatica, say from operations, say like healed agoraphobia. One of my clients, she came to me, she was completely scared of being on video and she would freeze like I used to in the beginning. I helped her with my unique energy work method, which really like shifts your emotions and how you look at the world. Okay, it's not just like, oh, here's some energy, which can be nice, but it's really psychological. It shifts you psychologically of how you feel and what you're willing to do and allow in. After working with me, I think it's like been a few years now, but she went from being frozen on video, couldn't even do a thing, to now she has 170,000 YouTube subscribers. How crazy is that? Another client of mine came to me for agoraphobia and psychosomatic illness symptoms where she kept thinking she was dying with all this pain. And I helped her tune into the pain and make it her friend. And guess what happened then? She overcame agoraphobia. She got booked for an indie film. She made a new group of friends. She was finally able to spend time away from her mum and sisters without fear that they were going to get hurt. And then her Instagram, which she already really enjoyed creating and adding beautiful photos to. So it was like a path of non-resistance for the goal to come through. It went from just 350 something to pretty quickly growing to 20,000 something subscribers. We didn't directly work on the social media. We just worked on her fears of being seen and all the other things that were going on in her life. And then things shift. So come into my world. Okay, there's lots of ways to get help by me, whether it's from my one-to-one coaching, my Tapping for Success Club, even my free videos on YouTube. It really is worth committing yourself to the energy work to shift your emotions on a regular basis, reprogram your subconscious. You can heal from literally anything in your way. And even when things are good, you can make them even better. Yeah, so let me know in the comments what your highlights are, and please like and follow if you haven't already, and I cannot wait to hear from you. So as you know, I'm Kai Clifford, and remember, you get to choose your reality. Okay, so it's your choice as to whether you show more of a vulnerable side or whether you keep fearing people and thinking that they'll judge you. The ones who judge you don't matter, and the ones that love you won't judge you, right? Okay, you have a good day. Bye.